There were 6 finalists in the final round of radio speaking. In 6th place, from Canton, Trevor Widger. In 5th place, from University High School, Jay Simmons. In 4th place, from Cary Grove, Joe Brommel. In 3rd place, from Revis, Jonathan Morsovillo. Your tournament runner-up in radio speaking is from Hersey, Andrew Napora. And our tournament champion, from Sandburg High School, Cora Georgiou. Radio speaking state champion, Cora Georgiou.
Dozens killed in a tragic crash. Border Patrol uses excessive force. President Obama to return to Chicago. Good evening. The time is now 8:32, and you're listening to Cora Georgiou on KRLH News Radio. Today's broadcast is brought to you by Aunt Letty's Kia Emporium, where car shopping is as easy as pecan pie. In international news, police say in Zambia at least 51 people have been killed after a bus crashed into a semi-truck north of the country's capital of Lusaka. Police spokeswoman Elizabeth Kanjela said the crash happened this morning at Chifamba, a town about 62 miles north of Lusaka. The crash involved a bus run by Zambia's postal service, which provides passenger service on buses that also carry the country's mail. Moving to northern Africa, Egypt's prime minister has condemned religious edicts by hardline Muslim clerics, calling for the killing of opposition leaders, and says the government is considering legal action against them. The state news agency says Hisham Kandil warned that such action could lead to sedition and disturbance. A day earlier, Egypt's most prominent opposition leader, Mohammed al-Baradei, head of the National Salvation Front, criticized the government's silence over the edicts. Coming from the U.S., a lawyer for the family of a teenage Mexican boy who was apparently fatally shot by a U.S. Border Patrol agent in October says an autopsy report shows that the victim was struck by at least 11 bullets, mostly in his back. Luis Parra says he believes the Border Patrol used excessive force in gunning down 16-year-old Jose Antonio Elena Rodriguez. Also in America, authorities in Ohio say a pocket-dialing prowler got himself arrested after his cell phone turned informant. Twice. Investigators say an emergency operator traced an accidental 911 call on Friday night to a home in Sydney, about 60 miles northwest of Columbus. They arrested Douglas Walliver inside. Walliver was found in a bathroom after his phone's low battery alert led the deputies to his hiding place, and there he was charged with breaking and entering. Looking a bit closer to home, President Barack Obama will travel to Chicago this week to address gun violence and other issues after his State of the Union address. A statement from the White House press secretary says the president will be in Chicago on Monday for an event. He'll also be traveling to Asheville, North Carolina, and Atlanta in the coming days. Last weekend, First Lady Michelle Obama attended the funeral of 15-year-old Hadia Pendleton. The teen's death has renewed the nation's debate over gun violence. Also in the Windy City, Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel has named a former Illinois Department of Transportation worker to replace Sandy Jackson on the city council. Emanuel says Natasha Holmes' appointment as alderman of the 7th Ward represents a break from the past and a fresh start. He praised Holmes for a record of community engagement. She's a former IDOT Special Projects Manager and Community Planner. We'll continue with sports and weather after a brief word from our sponsor. Need some new wheels? Head to Aunt Letty's Kia Emporium. Aunt Letty is baking up crazy prices on late model Kia Sorentos and Optimas. And every Sunday, Aunt Letty bakes up her famous pecan pie. Grab a slice after your test drive. Plus, take a test drive before April 1st and enter to win Aunt Letty's grand prize, a delicious pecan pie every month for the next 3 years. At Aunt Letty's, you'll always find fair prices and a low-pressure staff. Aunt Letty's Kia Emporium on Main Street in Peoria, where car shopping is as easy as pecan pie. On the ice with the NHL, Marcus Kruger and Jonathan Taves each scored 66 seconds apart in the second period, and the Chicago Blackhawks remained the NHL's lone undefeated team in regulation by beating the Nashville Predators 3-0 last night. Patrick Kane also added a goal in the third as the Blackhawks wrapped up their season-high 6-game road trip with their fourth straight win and improved to a 10-2 overall and 8-2 away from Chicago. Moving to the NBA scoreboard, sadly enough, our very own Chicago Bulls couldn't quite keep up with Washington, losing 101-98. Indiana just beat New York 89-87 in overtime, and Dallas topped Atlanta 117-99. And now for a peek at the weather. Today we'll be seeing mostly cloudy skies with highs in the upper 20s. Tomorrow will be sunny and warmer with highs in the 40s. And Monday we may see some snow showers throughout the day, so don't forget your winter coat if you're thinking about heading out, with a high of 37. This concludes today's broadcast, which has been brought to you by Aunt Letty's Kia Emporium, where car shopping is as easy as pecan pie. You've been listening to Cora Georgiou on KRLH News Radio. The time is now 8:37, and have a great night.